in another camp where they killed somebody. But I don't remember. Oh yeah, in the United States. I think in the south of the United States they had, there was one traitor up there and they also killed him.
Yes.
The Germans killed him. I remember that now, but I don't know the exact details. Barracks, everything there was.
Yes.
And they also had a place where they used to do bread and water. I know when I was there, they gave me 21 days bread and water for escaping.
For escaping. So did you try to escape from here?
Yes, several times.
Several times. How many?
But
exactly?
they got me every time. Every time. They got me in a place called Waals, which is Holland. V-A-L-S, about maybe about 20 miles to Maastricht.
Oh, so close to the Swiss border?
Now to the Dutch border.
Dutch border, sorry.
Yes, they got me there.
And you came back here
They
to
brought
Leinster?
no, they brought me to another camp. They brought me to Torgau in Germany, and from Germany I escaped there, and they brought me. They brought me to Torun in Poland. Yeah, that was a fortress there.
Yes, I know.
You
it
know
is
that
Stalag
fort?
28.
I don't remember. In the fortress they had moats there, you couldn't get out there. And from there they moved me to Womdit. You know Womdit? A little, I think it was a little village about 60 or 70 kilometers south from Gdansk, from Danzig. You know, they got me there.
It is probably a small village.
Yeah, and then when the Russian advanced from the east and the German retreated to the west, we were left with the Germans, you know, and they didn't care anymore. So we just, a few of us, we went over to the east, and the Russian took us. That was where the front was, you know.
And what did the Russians do with you?
They were not the greatest.
They didn't know what to do with the POWs.
They didn't like foreigners. And they didn't speak English, and they spoke nothing but Russian. Then we picked up a few words. We told them, plan, you know. Plan means prisoner of war, I think. Plenitsky, whateve.
День из войны по-российски.
Well, whatever. That's what we call out.
Военнопленный is a prisoner of war.
If I remember correctly. And we were in that village. The German had left all their little houses. Nothing was all destroyed. And in the evening we walked out, a few of us, a couple of New Zealanders, a couple of British or whatever. And we walked out, and then we had this Russian there. They had these white, because it was snow, had the white. And he said, "Stoi!" I figured must be stop. And we told him, plan. He started to curse in Russian, and he said, "Go this way," and I had a distinct ticklish up here on the back that he's going to shoot me right in the back. But he did. So I don't think too highly of them. They were not very nice to us. Anyway, they took us from there to Odessa.
What about Lambsdorff? Did you try to escape through the tunnel?
No. On Lambsdorff.
Did you exchange with identity?
Yes, I exchanged identity. I exchanged with an Irishman because they had me in a barrack where they had the bad characters. And this Irishman, his name was John McGrath, and we made a deal. For a Red Cross parcel, he's going to give me 7 days. After 7 days, if they catch him, he says, "I'm the other guy." But he had a tattoo on, you know, a tattoo up here. So I took his tattoo and I put it on. And when we came to the gate, the guy looked up. The German looked up. "What's your name?" And I gave him the name, and he looked at me. "Yeah, off you go." And they brought us on a party to a quarry in, I think, Czechoslovakia or Sudetenland, I don't remember. And these guys there at the time, they had planned an escape by tunnel. And they told me that they're going to escape, but the Germans had taken their shoes away, you know.
Yes.
They gave them these boots, these
The clogs.
wooden, yeah.
Mhm.
And nobody could speak any language. They all spoke English. And I said, where the hell are you going to go? You don't speak the language. Where are you going to go? And there were too many to escape to the tunnel. I said, it's not going to succeed. Too many.
But I've heard that you speak German very well.
Yeah, I speak German and French. I speak it very nicely.
Have you learned it
Yeah, I learned.
at the camp?
No,
After the war.
not before. So I told him, you're not going to succeed. Well, you're going to try, and they tried, and they got all caught before they even got into action. So, oh yeah, so the German found out who I was, because the German came into the barrack, and they were screaming. You see, when they lose a prisoner, then they're responsible to their authority, to the higher up, to their officers. And they were very, very angry, and I thought he's going to shoot us all. So I called out to him in German. I said, you know, we have a right to escape. I mean, like you have the right to it. This is our right.
Yes.
And
in Geneva Convention, it was written.
So he was so taken aback that I spoke German. He said, who is this guy? And so they called up the Stalag, and oh, that's him, the guy. Yeah. So they brought me back. They took a guard and they brought me back. I think they were, you see, I don't remember because so many years ago, but my friend, he was a Welshman, Tony Hopkins was it. They brought me back, and when they brought me back, I'm getting mixed up with the sequence of events because I don't remember. They brought me by train, and on the train, I said to the guard, I've got to go to the bathroom. Now, the train, you see, they have the windows on the train. So I went to the other compartment, and I figured this guy would lean out from the window. If I jump, he's going to shoot me. So I went to the next compartment. The window was on that side, so I jumped from that side. So I ended up in a little town called, what comes first, Rybnik or Ratibor? From the west. I think Ratibor. I ended up in Ratibor, and I took a little train to Rybnik. And in Rybnik, I slept. It was in July, 16th of July in 1942. I remember that. I slept in a park, and I got a train from there to Troppau.
It is in Czech Republic.
Yeah, yeah. And in Troppau, I saw a big working party of Czechoslovakia, and they went into Germany to work. So when I bought a ticket to Leipzig. And when they went on the train, I sort of went behind them. Now the guy in charge of that group, he realized there's something fishy with me. You know, I mean, but he didn't say anything. So when the German came in, and he said to him, yeah, this is our group. So at Leipzig they got off and I got off. And I hadn't eaten, so I stood there and I asked somebody, where can I eat something? He said, go over there at the corner, there's a big restaurant called Kipke. Kipke, you know the place? Isn't there anymore.
No.
Because I was there a couple of years ago and I said to the lady, I want to eat at Kipke. Kipke, she said, oh, he's gone. So I went to Kipke, and I didn't have any coupons. You know, you need coupons, Punkte they call it.
Yeah.
But there was an old guy sitting there, and I said to him, listen, what can I eat? He said, do you have any Punkte? I said, no. Ask for Kartoffelsuppe. I remember,
soup.
in Germany, in Poland, I get Kartoffel and Kartoffel and Kartoffel. So I ordered 2 plates of Kartoffelsuppe. You know, I was a young kid, so all this was a joke, you know. And I saw the Russians coming in, the Germans coming in, all wounded with the bandages from the train. And this guy, he must have been against the war. He said, Kanonenfutter, he said. And from there I went to, from Leipzig. Oh yeah, I went to Aix-la-Chapelle, Aachen. You know Aix-la-Chapelle? Aachen on the west.
Aachen.
And No, I went to Köln,
Cologne.
in Cologne, yeah. And I went up and I figured I look at the big church, and I stood in front of the big church, and there was a young kid up there, about my age. So he said to me, so what are you doing? I said, nothing. What are you doing? Nothing. So he said, do you have a cigarette? I said, no. Do you have a cigarette? No. He said, what are you going to do? I said, nothing. He said to me, you want to play pool? I said, pool? I don't know how to play pool. He said, I'll teach you. So I went to play pool with him. So we went to play pool. After we finished playing pool, I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going home. Where are you going? I'm going home too, I said. So I took the train from Köln to Aix-la-Chapelle, to Aachen. And I got off in Aachen, and I walked out the station, and I walked into town. I see the beautiful hotel. I figured I'd rent a room for the night. But the point is, you know, I had the crummy clothes on. I mean, they were not very elegant. I walked in, and the guy said to me, I said, can I have a room? He looked me up and down. The room, he said, where's your luggage? And I realized this is not right. I said, at the station. And where's your paper? I said, at the station. Can I get, yeah, you can get a room. Bring the paper. I figured, let's get out of here. And I got out of there. And I think I slept also in some park. I bought a newspaper someplace. I slept on the newspaper. And then the next morning, from Aachen, Aix-la-Chapelle, there's a road leading into where the German, I think there must have been German civilian, went to work in over the border. And I figure I order this, I go with them. But the buses were very small, and if I go and they realize I don't belong to these people, and they'll ask me questions. I had false papers which were made in Lambsdorff by the escape committee. We had an escape committee.
Yes.
You know about that?
Yes, I've
they
heard.
Gave me and they gave vitamin tablets. I had all that. And I had plenty of money. Plenty of money.
Was it real money?
What?
Real money?
German?
Real money,
Marks?
yeah,
Marks?
real money. Yeah, you know, I had plenty of money. So, what was that? Oh, so I figured I better don't do it. It was raining. It was early in the morning, maybe at 8 or 7. And I saw an old bucket on the side, an old bucket. I figured I belong to the landscaper. I picked up the bucket. I rolled up my sleeve and I just pretended I'm working up here. And I walked to the border and I saw the border. They had this thing up there and the guard. I figured this is no good. So I walked back, like if this is that thing up here, I walked back, I walked inland up there and I walked. It was all field. And there were little paths, a path like this, maybe that big. I'll show it you this way. And they had a barbed wire up here and a path up here, barbed wire up here, another one. And then they had a big field with that wheat, that high, you know, even higher. So I went over this path and I walked along this one. Now this is the square, this is the square. I went over here. Now this is that field. Oh, the wheat like that. That's what it was. And stupid. Instead of going across, I walked this way, to the other corner. I don't know why I did it. And there was another path, and I came to the end of it, and I walked this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. And at the end there was a wire up there, and I touched the wire, and it started to ring like crazy. No, I met a bunch of dogs on. And I don't like dogs. I'm afraid of dogs. I never did. Little dogs, okay, but big dogs. And the German came, and he with the machine guns, and they said, Fallschirmjäger, parachutist.
Oh.
That was the end of the story. That was the end. So they got me for 21 days bread and water up here. Up here.
Put your feet up again, Dad.
Potatoes. A change.
A change of diet.
Tak, Amerykanie. Wygląda ten pan armii brytyjskiej.